Hey there Guardians, welcome back to the channel. It's the weekend and I've got something fun for you. So we're 6 weeks into season 23 and by now most people are adjusted quite nicely to the Strand solar meta of this season. But what we're going to do today is change things up slightly just to give us a really fun build that's aimed more towards the mid-tier activities but does have endgame potential should you wish to go in there. We're taking a mixture of survivability, burst DPS potential with huge ad clearing capabilities. So let's jump right into it. First of all, our exotic will be the Syntheseps Titan Arms, which mean when we're surrounded we will gain increased melee and solar damage as well as improved weapon and handling and reload speed. Now despite the fact Syntheseps recently received quite a hefty nerf, they are still the best tool for the job for the gameplay style of this build. We're going to be using the Strand subclass and we're going to be building heavily into threadlings and unraveling. For our abilities we're going to take a Rally Barricade. The only reason for this over the Towering Barricade is the shorter cooldown, and we're going to be taking the Threadling Grenade. For our aspects, Flechette Storm, which allows us to slide and activate our charged melee, and then we can continue throwing flechettes while we're in the air. These unravel anything that they hit. And then our other aspect, no surprises here, Banner of War. Hey, it's a Strand Titan. You can't go wrong with Banner of War. For our fragments, we want Thread of Rebirth, so our Strand weapon final blows have a chance to create threadlings. Thread of Evolution, so threadlings will travel further and deal additional damage. Thread of Propagation, so powered melee final blows will grant our Strand weapons unraveling rounds. And Thread of Fury, where damaging targets with a tangle grants melee energy. When selecting your armour you want to focus for 100 resilience, which is doubly important on a Titan as this also controls our class ability cooldowns. Second and third priority are discipline and strength respectively. You want both of these as high as you can get them. All the other stats are irrelevant, just keep them above 30 points so you don't suffer the cooldown penalties. Looking to our seasonal artifact, there are only really 6 perks that we want on here, the rest are completely dealer's choice. So the 6 we want are Flame, Fibre and Freeze, which allows us access to the Solar and Strand Siphon mod. We want Unraveling Orbs, so picking up an Orb of Power grants our weapons unraveling rounds, meaning we have 2 ways to get unraveling rounds. Horde Shuttle, where damaging unravelled targets with a weapon will spawn additional threadlings. Torch. While Radiant, we gain increased weapon damage to combatants affected by Strand and Stasis debuffs. Wished Interbeing, so we gain additional orbs of power for ability kills when our super is almost fully charged. And Dragon's Bite, where if we break a combatant's shield with a Strand or Stasis weapon, it has a chance to suspend or freeze that combatant. Moving on to our mod setup. On the helmet, we want Dual Solar Strand Dual Siphon. Try saying that 5 times fast. Now, for some reason on the overview it shows these as solar siphons, but it is the Solar Strand Dual Siphon that we want. 2 of. We're also going to take Hands On so we gain additional super energy on melee kills. On the arms we're going to take Double Momentum Transfer, where causing damage with a grenade reduces our melee cooldown, and we're going to take Heavy Handed. On the chest, use whichever damage resistance mods are appropriate for the activity you're undertaking. On our legs we're going to take Invigoration, which reduces melee cooldown every time we pick up an Orb of Power. Recuperation, which replenishes health. That's purely to chunk up our health when we're taking damage. And we're going to take a Strand Weapon Search. And then finally, on our class item, we're going to use Powerful Attraction to collect Orbs of Power when we activate our class ability. Reaper, so we generate Orbs of Power if we get a kill within 10 seconds of using our class ability, and Outreach, which reduces melee cooldown whenever we use our class ability. When selecting weapons, it's entirely up to you what you use, as long as you have a Strand primary weapon, a Solar Special, and a Strand Heavy. If you really want to go for fun, Thin Precipice with Tireless Blade and Chain Reaction causes some insane Strand interactions, as you're going to see in the coming gameplay. Our gameplay loop is essentially activate Flechette Storm and keep throwing until it is depleted, and throw a grenade to give us some melee energy back, pick up a Tangle and throw that to give us some melee energy back, and switch to our Sword or Strand Primary and go crazy. If you are using the Thin Precipice with Chain Reaction, it has some crazy interactions with Unraveling rounds and Horde Shuttle, and the game really struggles to keep up with all of the Strand activity going on. As I mentioned earlier, the ad clearing potential for this build is crazy. Straight off the bat of this Gambit game, I immediately get a Massacre Medal, which, if anyone was around in Seasonal Reckoning knows, they were a real pain in the backside to get. And during that same Gambit game, I also got 2 fast fills, a Thrillmonger, and didn't die. Now granted, I know it's just Gambit, but this just gives you some idea of how good this is at clearing up. So there we have it, a nice fun little build for the weekend. If you've enjoyed this video and are interested in more Destiny builds, please think about subscribing to the channel, and until next time, I hope you have a fantastic day.